Well, greetings, y'all. I stepped into it this time. Well, with some steel rivets, some steel, and some welding, we'll try to make this mower safe to operate. There was a radio playing in the background. I do not have copyrights to the radio sounds.
Well, greetings, folks. We're back. We got kind of a different kind of an adventure that got myself into a little bit more than I anticipated when I said I would do something, but I'll give you the lowdown here in just a moment. I actually have my brother-in-law's little lawn tractor, Simplicity, that he's had for an extremely long period of time. And well, the deck had kind of rusted out, and as you can see there, which they had some duct tape on her, but peeled that off. But that's not too bad. I mean, I don't have a wire welder. I never really did enough welding at home to warrant the purchase of a wire welder. But when I go out there to pick up the mower, we find that he's actually put a patch there because this plate is actually ripped all the way apart, which is part of the frame. It's cracked from here. I know it's hard to see, but from here all the way across, around, over through here, this is separated from here. And he, yeah, he's been welding with this, and it's the frame's coming apart. All right. Well, then Stephen came over and I asked him to help, and then of course he finds another where the welds broke up there again. I guess you can't really see it, but the brackets weld for the spindle for front axle is broke. We've been working on this over here. We actually had to where it split across from here all the way over here and going all the way up here and all the way to here. Again, you probably can't see that. At any rate, we got us some metal, and we're gonna rivet that in, and then I'm gonna touch weld. This is really, really, really thin metal. And again, all I have is a arc welder. I got me some 1/8 inch rod, and I got me some 3/30 or 1/16 inch rod, and I got me some 3/32 rod. And I'll turn my little it's not really a welder, it's a it's a little buzz box. That's what it is. But anyway, had a long time, but I can't run a continuous weld on that because it'll just melt through. So I'm going to have to do short spurts, which don't know how many of you watch Bad Chad, but that's how he welds, is just short spurts. But he's also got a wire welder, nice Lincoln. But at any rate, well, I mean, yeah, it's 23 years old, but it still runs pretty good. But at any rate, it's really needing some help here, and it's kind of to the point where I need to do something to make it. It needs it to last at least a couple more years. But this is, as I said, I got into a little bit more than I anticipated. And that That not a problem. That is getting into a problem and a safety issue. That's got to be fixed. This not so much because there's more metal holding that on there, but I can just tack weld that real quick. That again, just put a patch panel in there and be done with it. But that concerns me. This here concerns me. So we're gonna get that side fixed up because it looked like it'd be the most simplest to get together. We had to jack it up on it to bring it together because literally this lawnmower is sagging down here.
Camera doesn't do it.
You can't see it on the camera. This camera doesn't do it justice, but it is sagging here in the middle where the cracks are. All right. Well, I'll bring you back. It is extremely hot today. I don't know how much we're actually going to do, and then maybe take off or wait until tonight. But any rate, we'll see what we got to do on this side. This is what concerns me. That side doesn't concern me too bad. This side concerns me, and to the point of being unsafe. All right, folks, I'll be back to you when we got a little bit more to show you. Thanks for watching. Well, folks, I'm back, and we got a little bit more accomplished, but then we found another issue when we lifted the hood. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a nice little crack all the way down there on the front. If you'll notice, what I did is I put a piece of metal behind there, and where you had that plate mounted on the outside, I just plug welded to the steel plate I put on the inside, and then we put steel rivets there in the front, and we're going to drill some more holes here and put, because that plate that I put in there goes all the way back here. So, and it's a 1/8 inch thick steel. So we got this jacked up so that this, if you'll notice, is pretty smooth, pretty even. I'm gonna tack weld that, but I gotta, if you look back in there, it's cracked right here too, which we're just gonna, I'm gonna put a piece of metal in there and pop rivet it in. But still haven't started on the deck. Still fixing frame cracks. At any rate, folks, I sincerely hope he gets 2 more years out of it, but I don't know. This is this thing, believe it or not, when we jacked that up, it went up almost 3 inches in the center. It was dipping that far down. Oh, at any rate, folks. Well, Steven's helping me out here and drilling holes and so forth. I got to do some measuring here and see what kind of tab I need to make there. Because I'm going to put a tab up there before I try to do anything there. And I'm going to grind some of that out and try to tack weld that. He's going to drill some more holes back through here and get into that plate I put in there. And hopefully, when we let this down off that frame jack and this deck jack, or this foot pad jack, it'll stay pretty stable. Well, I'm gonna let you go for now, and decide what all I'm gonna do here. All right, folks. Well, we're back again. On this crack up here, all I did was, well, I had Steven drill holes and I formed a plate that goes in behind that and it's riveted. That up there, we just put a bolt and a tech screw in to a plate underneath that I molded to fit there. So the top of the front of this, if you'll notice, is pretty solid. They took some 1/8" steel plate and pop riveted in there. Then I fill welded this. Had to actually put some filler rod in there because that hole was just so far apart. When we raised this up, it came up 3 inches. It come together 3 inches. But it had been wearing there so long, there was actually metal missing. Just like down through here, there was metal missing. And so at any rate, I know it doesn't look pretty, but hey, I got a grinder. Besides that, it's covered by a mat. Yeah, mat right there, that goes over this. Well, he is and you can see still a little bit of that crack right there that I didn't fill in, but it's got a metal plate behind it. Now we're going to still drill 2 more holes back here that go into that 1/8" by 2" steel that's in behind this. So it'll be riveted. These are fill welds where he had that little bracket bolted on. We took the bolts out and we put the plate, steel plate back there, and then I just plug welded into that. The other side came out real good, pretty nice. We had to cool this down because we're about ready to call it a night. I'm gonna have him drop this down. It's still gonna be on the, well, now actually I think it's lifted up off the jack stand right now, isn't it?
No, it's still on it.
All right. Well, we need to set it all the way down onto the ground, probably.
Alright, so let me get this up to get that jack stand out real quick. I'm coming down with it.
Now you notice when it comes down, oh wow, it don't sag. And it don't separate. Look at that.
And then, if you want to show them, there's the hole we got to fill on the deck.
Well, in that deck hole there, like I said, that after seeing that and all the cracks, that was the least of my worries.
Yeah.
I don't know. You think we ought to clean that up and weld that onto that? Probably.
Right here?
No. Down below, the one you found.
Oh, this guy down here?
On the suspension.
Probably.
Oh, thanks.
Well, you know, it's your, you know, family members'
I know.
tractor.
It really was to the point of being unsafe.
Yeah.
At least, I'm not worried about the welds holding. Understand this. I'm not worried about the welds holding. The rivets will.
Yeah.
And the metal that I put in it is much heavier, much heavier than this stamped steel that they call a frame. And so that will reinforce it.
Yeah, you got 35,000 tensile straight on the rivets.
That reinforces it. So I'm not worried about that. And so at any rate, one thing we did notice, though, this thing's got so much caster to it, it literally lifts up the front end when you turn right and left. That's caster is the backward motion of the upper part of the spindle. So that's positive caster going back, negative caster going forward. Camber is the in and out at the top of the wheel on a steer tire. And
yeah,
it's a slow moving vehicle.
Kind of
so
like my truck.
They don't really have any camber in them, but apparently this has got caster built into it. And most tractors don't. So, but you can see the angle of that spindle leaning back. That's caster. That's positive caster. So that's why it wants to whip back straight when you release it. So it literally puts itself back straight again.
Yeah, like a return to sender feature that you have on an automobile.
At any rate, well, caster is what returns your steering wheel to center when you let go of the steering wheel. If you got too much negative caster, it will not return to center. At any rate, that's where we're at tonight. I'm going to call it a night. It has been something else.
Choice words we will not say.
But the forward and reverse actually work better than they were. I mean, I couldn't push down on it with my. You had to push down on it with. At any rate, you had to push down on it because this thing was sagging down, and that shaft that this operates the rear, forward and reverse was actually supporting this side. Now this is what you step on to grab to get on, just like the other side.
I mean, if you want to show them right here, you can see where this plate has been wearing against the frame here.
Well, and it was down so far, it was actually that front part of that plate was wearing on the frame, if you notice.
Right there.
So, at any rate, we have, we got it a lot more stable than it was. To be honest with you, I'm not looking for any more cracks to weld, so we are not reviewing this much more than this. I will clean that up. I will paint it black. When I do this, even though it's a simplicity, either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow or sometime we'll come back in and I'll clean this all up, and then we'll start doing the deck. I got to cut this section out. I already told him he's going to lose his sticker. I might keep the 38-inch sticker, but that danger rotating blades, I don't see how I'm going to save that. I might be able to. I am no professional, and I'm not charging him. I mean, my sister certainly could cook something for me. I mean, she's awesome cook. I don't know. At any rate, that's where we're at, and we're gonna call it a night. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the finish of this. Well, folks, I'm back again, and we're back on this. We drilled and put a couple more rivets in there. This is stable. It doesn't move now, which is good. That's what I wanted. We got to clean up a little bit of the weld, but now I'm going to start on the deck here and cut it out. Got my cut off wheel on my die grinder, and we're going to cut out this area here. This is still pretty solid. I don't know why. It's probably some attachment. Got a little farther on this. We are getting ready to paint this. I've welded in some plate on the back side of that, and then we put rivets in it too to help secure it, and then it's got fiberglass reinforced Bondo over the top. We're just letting it cure right now. He's getting ready to, he's taping off stuff so he can paint. We're just painting the areas that we worked on. I did go ahead and weld that. Again, thinner than snot. Extremely hard. This deck was extremely hard. I had to the welder turned down all the way using a 16th inch rod, and it was still just burning through the deck. It's thin. At any rate, wire welder would have come in real handy, but I don't use a wire welder or don't need a welder enough to warrant buying one. So, at any rate, that's where we're at on that. We're at to sand that all down. It's not gonna, I flat told him, it's not gonna be perfect because I'm more worried about just getting the holes filled, and I was concerned about the frame rail. If it lasts him 2 more years, then good. Yeah. Any rate, so we will come back when we're finished with it and done with it, because we're gonna let that cure, and I'll just bring you back when we got what we're gonna do to it, done with it. Well, I'm back. This is what we got done. I went to see if I could find some, it's almost like Alice Chalmers orange paint, but at any rate, you can see we sanded this. That's the best I'm going to sand it. It's not going to make it smooth because it's the rivets. We did this. We stuck the pads back on both sides. Got this pad back on, and we painted the black here. Holy shit. At any rate, the strange thing about this mower, most steer axles pivot. This one, it pivots back here. And this is just stamped steel, not even 9 gauge. I'd say that's, I don't even know if that's 11 gauge. It may be 12 or 14 gauge. At any rate. But, so tomorrow I'll go get some orange paint to halfway match that, and we'll stick the rotating cutting blade sticker back on there and best I can, and that's it. But this works. This is the I'll show you when it's finished with the painted. Thanks for watching. Oh, howdy folks. I thought I'd bring you back and show you the final status on this my brother-in-law's Simplicity mower. We got the deck repaired. Got some paint on it. Looks like Alice Chalmers orange is just a little bit lighter, but close enough. Fixed this, painted. Fixed that, painted. Fixed the other side, painted. Fixed this where the tabs were broke off. We put some angle brackets on there and put screws and so forth through it. Fixed that where the speed nut broke the nut off, and this was just flopping around, so he can actually pull up on the parking brake now without everything coming up with it. This is by no means the
a permanent fix. This is well, I guess for this it's permanent. This there's not much more you can do to this. When it's wore out, it's wore out. So at any rate, only thing I gotta wait is for the paint to dry a little bit more so I can peel the decal off, and I'll find out if he wants his rotating cutting blades mower decal, danger decal, stuck on there somewhere. But I'm gonna give him the paint too if he wants to finish painting the deck. If he'd polish that, I'm sure it would be pretty close to that. But then again, this gets a little bit of dirt into it. It's not gonna look that way either. So but at any rate, that's where she is. That's where she's going. I'm taking her back. All right, thanks for watching. Several videos on this that I will get downloaded when I get my computer back, and we'll kind of go from there. Have a good day. Like and subscribe.